At Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger meals, getting them right every time. That's why we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, salt every fry, squeeze every lemon, and brew every ounce. We do this inside every Raising Cane's, every day. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Nick Wyman here at 1040 O Street in the capital city with you for two more hours left in this day as we have DeMornay Pierson-El, hour with him, and then late Lincoln to follow on 93.7 The Ticket. DeMornay, how you doing? It's been a loaded weekend of sports, and there's a lot to talk about, not just here in Huskerland, but just in general. How you doing, my man?
Man, it's been a busy weekend. I can say that, but doing good.
Before we get into anything football related and whatnot, Nebraska, I've been asking about this hockey game, this gold medal yesterday, USA, Canada. Obviously, the women's game was just as important on Friday. History for them. Megan Keller with the goal in overtime. Then 2 days later, Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Central Time. Got to get up and watch it. But hey, I woke up and it was worth it. Every single second, I was on the edge of my seat. I'm not the biggest hockey guy. I will watch a Stanley Cup playoffs, but I'm not going to be, if there's other things on, I'm not going to, like if there's an NBA playoff game on, I'm probably going to pick the NBA playoff game over the hockey game. But man, I was on the edge of my seat from the get-go. If you didn't watch it live, anybody watching, I would say go watch it. It is worth it. You don't have to be the biggest hockey guy or girl or whatever to watch it. Totally worth it. And I'm assuming you've probably seen the highlights and seen just the moment in general of what it was.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's intense. I mean, especially going against Canada and everything like that. I'm here for the fighting. Love it. Love to see it. I mean, I think a lot of people, not only watch for that, but I mean, it's a part of it. But definitely, it was an awesome game.
Yeah, and the United States getting the win 2-1 in overtime. That kind of took over the sports world over the past 24 hours. Just it's a heated rivalry. It is, the Michigan, Ohio State of hockey. It is the Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees of Olympic hockey. And you got it on full display. I know there's a lot of places where they had watch parties in the morning. I mean, I can't imagine waking up at, 8 o'clock in the morning and going to go watch a game. It's crazy to think about that. And people actually, we'll have the World Cup here in the next couple of months. I mean, it's a big time for sports. Obviously NFL offseason is going to take in the high gear combines this week. But before we get into all that, I want to talk about Nebraska spring practice starting up. They started on Saturday. It's crazy to think, we're here in February still, and we're talking about spring football practice. It feels early. I mean, I don't know if you've been able to see the snow that we got here in Lincoln.
That definitely set things back. I think we've kind of been fortunate. I would say that this winter, spring, whatever you want to call it. And then, last week it just kind of, I felt like, crushed all of Nebraska. But, football's right around the corner. I know things just kind of settled after the Super Bowl and everything like that. But, the anticipation and kind of the climb back to things taking off and everything like that is definitely juiced, definitely excited. Looking forward. It's a whole new team, from coaching staff and, players and everything like that. So most definitely excited to kind of see what comes out of it and, the comments from the coaches and whatnot.
Yeah, and there's a lot of new, I think, is the big trajectory. There's a lot of new faces, a lot of new bodies. I think that's the biggest takeaway with Nebraska right now because you have the same coach, but you have a new defensive coordinator again. You just have a lot of new faces in there, and I think that's a very new thing. You have a new offensive line coach. You have a new defensive coordinator. You also have a lot of new players. You obviously have a new quarterback, which will be a topic of discussion for several months because obviously if you're the quarterback in Nebraska, you have
that's going to be the story of the year. And not of the year, but that's going to be the storyline the whole year, regardless of how things and everything like that. It's going to be talked about at every game.
Yeah, because you bring in a new quarterback, transfer portal quarterbacks fly off the shelf like Black Friday nowadays, and that is what happened with Nebraska. You got Kenny Minchie for a day or whatever it was, and he ends up getting a better offer or whatnot at Kentucky, and then you have Anthony Calandria there, which it seems like he's the guy. I would say it sounds like you win the NIL for him, and he is a veteran quarterback in college. You have him at Virginia, played several years there. Then he went to UNLV with Dan Mullen.
Several years.
Yep.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That's that statement itself. It's the new reclassification that kind of tipped off. Everybody was reclassing, in high school, and it seems like a bunch of kids are getting a lot of do-overs with college. But good for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's just experienced. I think that's what Nebraska wanted at a QB1 is somebody with experience, somebody who can come in here and be able to pick it up real quick. Because, look at Dylan Raiola goes down. T.J. Lateef, to his credit, true freshman, sitting on the sideline for 2 hours against USC, blackout night game. Raiola goes down. Hey, you're a true freshman. You go in there and see what you got. And he showed flashes at times, the USC game was able to get thrown in the fire. Because not many, that's a tough situation for anybody, no matter the position, to get thrown there. Then goes to UCLA, wins that game back at home. And then, he battled injuries down the stretch of the year too. And he played some tough competition in Penn State, Iowa, and Utah. But Nebraska has some depth there at quarterback, which I feel like hasn't been the story over the last couple of years. There's usually a number one guy, but then if something happens to that number one guy, there's just kind of a lot of question marks to go from. So I think that's a nice thing when you have guys like TJ Lateef, but you also have a guy like Danny Kaelin who played a little bit at Virginia as well this last year.
I mean, they're both definitely experienced guys. They've been in college for a while. They understand stuff. They understand how to command the huddle. They understand, what it actually takes and what they need to do at this level. I think going with the experience, dates back to even before, Raiola, even coming here. They had Kyle McCord was originally supposed to be here. So the plan that they kind of got to and went after with, having a little bit more experienced quarterback. When you have a talent like Raiola and everything like that, I get that. And I guess they kind of went back to, the original plan of that. I mean, that definitely should take a lot of heat off of stuff and everything like that. But I mean, that's only one piece of the puzzle. There was other things that were definitely, areas of concern. I think that they definitely, tried to gather more tools for that on the offensive line. The coach, the players, and everything like that. So it's not, they didn't only get experience in the quarterback room, but they got experience on the offensive side, as well as the defensive side too. So hopefully that does play in a huge favor with, turning the tides. And hopefully, that year 3 breakout can happen in year 4.
Yeah, and you hit it on the nail. I mean, offensive line. I mean, if you don't have an offensive line in football, you're not gonna win many games. And you got 4 of the 5 guys coming in. Hopefully, the spring season is what I really wanted to talk to you about, because you know what it's like to be a part of spring camp in a situation. This is a time, it's not the most exciting time because it's just, you're going through drills and whatnot, and it's not the most flashy thing, but you learn a lot. A lot of the stuff you apply now will help you on Saturdays. And with those 4 offensive linemen and that offense and the receiving core and the running back, a lot can be paved the way. I wanted to hear your kind of thoughts on what your takeaways from spring camp was.
I think spring is the most important time out of the whole season compared to fall camp and everything like that. Spring is where battles are won, and you kind of earn your spot, and it's up to you necessarily if you lose it or not or whatnot. But it definitely gives the upperclassmen or incoming early freshmen coming in or transfers. Excuse me. It gives them the advantage to the coaches reevaluate what they did good, what they think they're going to do well, and everything like that. You kind of put your plan together then, and kind of pick apart and see where you can kind of build on in the fall for fall camp and whatnot. But it's a lot of growth. It's hectic. You find out what the kids kind of respond to well or don't respond to, or what kind of works. That way you can implement that in spring ball. I mean, in fall camp, and kind of follow that into the season and whatnot. So it's a lot of growth that happens. It's a lot of new and people in and people out. New people are gone. Your seniors are gone, whether that's their eligibility is done, or they didn't transfer it out. So you kind of check the pulse of the team and get an idea of okay, what do we have going forward, an idea of what you want to do for the season and whatnot. And then once fall camp comes around and everything like that, that's building off of your success, what was built in the spring and everything like that. That's where confidence comes in. That's when understanding what coaches want, how to run plays, how to run defenses and everything like that. Like I said, it's the most important part, because it gives the whole team, life and confidence to what the season can potentially be.
Yeah, and I mean, you hit it on the nail. You're right. There's opportunity, and with this Nebraska team, I mean, there's a couple spots that are locked up, but there is.
You would think that.
Yeah, but there's a lot.
I mean, speaking from experience and everything like that, I didn't come in early, in spring. I came in the summer, and was lucky enough to be fortunate enough, for them to throw me into the fire and kind of end it. And you'll have those situations. That doesn't necessarily happen, but just because what you've done in the spring, that it's not the final say so and everything like that. You have to show up. Now you may be the lead dog or the lead, horse and everything like that, but you still have to show up in the fall and just to remind them and make sure that things are set and everything like that. But spring ball definitely, builds you that lead.
Yeah, you talked about that. You showed up in the summer. What was that like, just in your experience doing it? Because I never was a part of a spring practice or whatever. What nothing for show up in the summer, kind of things are said, and it's like, hey, here's DeMornay. This guy's gonna be a wide receiver for us, punt returner potentially. How did those conversations go, and how did you kind of earn your stripes, I guess, in a sense?
To be honest, what's funny is Randy Gregory told me from the jump. I was kind of green and just following along and just trying to find my own footsteps and everything like that. And Randy was the first person that was like, no, he was like, look, they got plans for you. Like, he was like, trust me, they're gonna give you a shot. And he kind of broke it down how it would be in fall camp. He was like, this is what you can expect. At some point in time, like they'll give you a week to kind of understand what's going on, and then week 2 or week 3, they'll throw you in with the 2s. They'll throw you in with the 1s to kind of see if you can handle it, and then if you can, they'll feed you more, and if not, you might be put on the shelf or see if you can catch up in a week or 2. So my head was spinning. It wasn't I didn't start off with the 2s early on. I was with the 3s and the freshmen and everything like that, and made a couple plays. They moved me up, made a couple more plays. I stayed with the 2s a lot longer. And it's like that in spring. But I was thankful enough to have good older guys around to kind of let kind of what was going to happen, and it wasn't a lot of thinking of that as, okay, well, this is what I need to do, or do more of this, do less of that, and every day just try and make plays and whatnot. I knew coming in that my shot would be special teams. And if I can handle offense and everything like that, I'm sure they'll sprinkle in packages and everything like that. But, priority-wise, it was, winning a returner battle. So I knew that coming in. Mm-hmm. I was in a room with Kenny. I was in a room with Jamal. I was in a room with Westy, Alonzo, B. Riley, Sam Birch, all those guys. So, it wasn't just like, we're going to throw you out there. Later in the season is when more so they had to kind of find places to kind of throw me into there, but it's not easy. Like I said, you adjusting the classes, your class schedule is different, practice schedule and everything like that is different from high school or whatnot. Moving away from home, there's other things that comes into it. So that's why I said guys that come in early definitely have an advantage, and guys that went through spring ball, even freshmen going through it for the first time, that gives them definitely as sophomores an advantage, because you're expected to take the next step. And like I said, battles of your 1 and 2 deep is honestly probably filled in spring, and they kind of, like I said, sprinkle in. So that time is important, because coaches definitely get an idea of who you are, what you can do. And it can expand your role, can minimize your role and everything like that. So, every day, like I said, I think the first 2.5 weeks, by week 3, that they kind of know things are done and settled.
How important was it to have those kind of like veteran leaders behind you? Because you're coming in as a freshman, you obviously like, all right, you talk about Randy Gregory, you talk about, hey, he's like, they're gonna have something for you, and you're, but you mentioned you have classes on your mind, you're moving away from home. There's a lot on your mind, I guess. What was it like having those kind of captains and veterans?
I think especially my freshman year, we had a great senior class. Amir was in that class, Jay Mitch was in that class, Coop, Zaire. It's a list of guys even on the offensive side. Sam Birch, Cotton. It takes the load off, because they led by example. So you kind of were showed the ropes and everything like that, and then they would take a step back, and you would get your shot, And if you handle where you at, you know, you move a step up closer, you handle that and everything like that, you might get a few reps, you know, with the ones or against the first defense or, you know, what going with the first offense or whatnot. So I mean, it's a daily battle. Of course, we're there to go to school, but you know, football definitely played a major role. So I mean, you couldn't really have too many off days or down days or homesick days and everything like that. You know, we're forged by fire. And I mean, like I said, I was fortunate to have a bunch of older guys that they really didn't, you know, I mean, of course there was jockeying around and everything like that. They were getting on you and everything like that, or horse playing or whatnot. But, you know, they definitely led by example, and it made the transition easier and everything like that, because you kind of seen what to do. You knew what was expected. The coaches, you know, were they weren't necessarily holding your hand, but I mean, you know, off the field and whatnot, definitely coaching things up and were around or whatnot. And like I said, I mean, you're away from everybody. You waking up, you know, you're there before the sun comes up, and you're going back home when the sun is down. So I mean, it's you got to get calloused, and that time definitely, you know, it made it easier when you had guys that, you know, brought you along versus, you know, looking at you as a threat and kind of leaving you out to fend for yourself.
So before we go to break, I wanted to talk about something. What are you looking for Nebraska in 2026 this spring? I think I'm looking at the running backs, because Emmett Johnson is almost irreplaceable. The production he had for Nebraska's offense was unimaginable what he's had. Now you lose that. He's going to the NFL, going to the combine. You can watch him on Saturday. He'll be on TV in Indianapolis with that. But you have guys like Mekhi Nelson and Quentin Ives. You have two guys, more than that, Jamal Rule. You have a ton of guys there, but they haven't really had an opportunity because last year, obviously, they couldn't take Emmett Johnson off the field. So I'm really curious. We saw a little bit of Mekhi in the bowl game. He had a pretty solid bowl game in Las Vegas against Utah. I'm just curious where that's going to come from, because obviously you have the 4 offensive linemen that are coming in to fill that 5 offensive line. You have the quarterback, which will be the story, because
for sure
touch the ball every time. You have Rob Orich in the defense. You have the new O-line coach, but I think running backs is kind of getting overshadowed because, as you know, Big Ten football, you have to be able to run the ball. And if you don't have a top running back, you're probably not at the top of the conference.
That's something to definitely keep an eye on. Outside of that, I mean, for me, it's more so the offensive line. And the defense as a whole, just a new coordinator and everything like that, how they adjusting the stuff, again, changing the defense. But the offensive line, the run complements the pass complements the run. You know, if you're one dimensional and everything like that, it messes a whole lot up. So I'm more interested to see how that comes together, because that would definitely relieve the running back room. That would definitely relieve the receiver room. That would definitely relieve, you know, the quarterback. I think that definitely makes a lot of things easier. It'll make things more fluid and everything like that. So I think if we have success there, and if we have guys that are stepping up and things that are gelling and everything like that, you know, guys are getting through spring ball healthy and whatnot, I definitely think that's where the success will lie. You'll see the running backs flourish and everything like that if guys, you know, are getting off blocks, or guys are, you know, understanding stuff. And I mean, again, with a veteran quarterback, a new coach and everything like that, a different perspective of things. I think that's the important part, because when you do have a balanced attack scheme, how are teams going to defend you? If they try and take away the run, or they have to focus so much on the run and everything like that, that opens up the pass. So that's where my eyes will be at. And I think the more important part of it, of how much success the backfield, the receivers will have. And that's where I'm interested to see what the coach says about that, with whether that's Rule, whether that's the OC, whether that's the offensive line coach. That's where I'm going to be glued in at, to kind of hopefully see what the offense will look like.
Yeah, and there's a lot of question marks. I mean, spring practice started. There's snow on the ground here still, but hey, spring football's practice.
They got indoors, you know, and I mean, it's still football, so you know they'll be fine.
Outdoor sport. I know NFL teams trying to take that away with the domes.
We're in the Big Ten, you know, late October. It's going to be like that. So, I mean, mental and physical toughness, it's a part of the journey.
It's crazy. Spring game. I mean, it feels like the Las Vegas Bowl was just yesterday. And now here we are, you know, 5 weeks removed from a potential spring game at 11 a.m. / maybe an Elite Eight game with Nebraska. I'm not going to jinx them. You know, you got to win a game first. And That's still, one game at a time once you get to March. But when we come back, we'll talk about NFL news. There's some franchise tag news and where are some quarterbacks. The combine's coming up. We'll talk about some quarterbacks. Mendoza not throwing, but Ty Simpson's kind of the guy to watch because he will be throwing at the combine on Saturday. We'll be back here, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. You're listening to the Don't Punt Hour.
Let's fly. Your next trip starts at Lincoln Airport with American Airlines. Now flying nonstop service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago. American Airlines connects Lincoln to major hubs and destinations around the globe. Wherever you're headed, LNK gets you there with new nonstop flights on American Airlines. Now boarding. Convenient, fast, and stress-free. Book your next flight at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Just got new tires put on my car today.
You did? I didn't see you leave the office.
I didn't need to. Graham Tire picked up my car this morning and dropped it back off and they were done.
You're kidding. How'd you get that kind of service?
That's just what they do at Graham Tire.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread's Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread's Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I Parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I Parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
This is Jordy Ball for Anderson Ford. For years, Anderson has relied on an exceptional customer experience. But just this once, they're going to rely on a really great pitch.
Right now, lease a 2025 Ford F-150 for $199 per month.
Experience better at Anderson Ford.
Stock number 1007055. Previous service loaner. $199 per month. Lease for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 6,800 to assignee. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from the Anderson Auto Group by 3/31/26. See dealer for details.
Hi, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear with Honda of Lincoln. Before I bring Andy on, we want to wish you joy, success, and good health in 2026. Andy, are you there?
Yes, I am, Charlie. And by the way, that was well said.
Andy, I know you want to kick off 2026 with a bang. What's going on at the dealership?
We got a lot going on here, Charlie. We have incredible savings on every new remaining 2025, New Year's savings on every new 2026, special low long-term financing, and special lease rates. The biggest news is we have more than 400 new 2025 and 2026 Hondas to choose from.
How about pre-owned?
We have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas right now with prices starting at under $10,000, and we have special low rates.
Well, maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
Welcome back. 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Located at 1040 O Street in the capital city here in Nebraska. Don't Punt Hour with DeMornay Pierson-El. DeMornay, we just got done talking about spring. It gave us really good insight to what spring football is about. I know a lot of people hear about it. You just think, you're just running drills and whatnot. No, there's a lot that goes into it. You make the groundwork, you earn your stripes, and you make the move up. I wanted to shift over to the NFL. The NFL, the season never sleeps. The NFL obviously has news, and franchise tags are getting handed out right now. Along with that, the NFL Draft Combine is this week as well. Let's start with the franchise tags. It's one notable one so far that has been announced. Ian Rappaport said the Falcons are planning the franchise tag Kyle Pitts, keeping him there as a playmaker in the fold on a 1-year fully guaranteed deal worth more than $15 million. The hope is to work out a long-term deal rather than a tag. The two sides have until July to do that. So he is kind of the first one. He's an interesting one because, he came in as a guy in the Arthur Smith system. I kind of didn't look like he was going to be what people thought he was going to be, and as a top round pick. And over the last couple of years, he's kind of made himself worth it. But there's an issue with quarterback there. Michael Penix Jr. Going to be the franchise quarterback is what they assume. The GM of the team kind of came out and didn't really say that he was going to be the franchise guy. But now he's injured. Don't know when his timetable for return is. But you have Kirk Cousins there. You're paying him a lot of money. Interesting to see what a team like Atlanta does. But Kyle Pitts, the first domino in the franchise tag. I mean, franchise tag is like nice, obviously, because you get a lot of money right off the bat. But you'd like a long-term deal.
It's a 2-for-1 special, because it can be bad too. It's a bargaining chip for teams, because depending on the situation and everything like that, it could mean they don't think you can replicate the previous season that you had before. So it's like, we like you, but you're gonna have to show us again, kind of for us to feel more comfortable with giving you a deal. Now, that's not always the case and everything like that. I think for Kyle, definitely they like him a lot. You got a new coach kind of coming in, and it gives them a chance for that coach to kind of evaluate that and that relationship to grow. I don't think it's so much what you need to kind of prove more to the coaches, more so what can the team prove to him. So I think they definitely want him, especially with Kirk Cousins there. Him kind of being in that same Stefanski type system, and him loving to throw two tight ends and everything like that. I think that's definitely more beneficial. So I mean, and for Kyle, even if you don't get a deal, you have another baller season. They can't. They could possibly franchise tag you again. No, I don't think they can franchise tag.
No, they cannot. You only get one, and then
yeah. So even if you have, let's say even you replicate the same season or even better season, you could be, the guy going into free agent. See the following year. So that's why I say it's kind of a 2-for-1 special, depending on what the circumstance is. But it's not I don't think it's a bad situation for him. I mean, they got it done early, so I think sides are definitely probably working on a long-term deal or to get that relationship established. I think that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, and there'll be a lot of those as that tag window's open, and a lot will happen here in the next week. The NFL Draft Combine is starting on Thursday, February 26th. Defensive linebackers are the first day. Friday will be defensive backs and tight ends. Saturday, February 28th will be the big day because you have quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs, your skill position guys. And then Sunday, we'll cap it off with the big boys on the offensive line, capping it off. The Fernando Mendoza isn't going to be there, but he will not throw at the Combine, which he'll throw at his pro day, which you see a lot of with quarterbacks now. You see,
he doesn't have to. I mean, you he's the pick of the litter.
Exactly.
So it's no reason. Some teams have probably met with him, but I mean, if you're not the top 3 picks, like we really have, probably he's not going to be there past 3. He's not. So,
he's going to be exactly. He's going to be the guy in that situation. He's shown enough on tape. He'll interview because the interview process. I think it's crazy. The Combine used to be just like, oh, what's your 40-yard dash? How much you bench and whatnot. And now you see it like on the, like they do the Hard Knocks off season, and like with the Giants, you get to see a lot of the guys in these interviews, like with cameras around them. So you have like Jaden Daniels famously. They have him and Joe Shane and Brian Dable in the interview, and they're like quizzing him over the X's and O's. I think you really got to see that, and now you see clips of that all the time.
The numbers do matter and everything like that, but teams get a feel for how the guy is, and it's all evaluation. They've sent scouts out. They've seen him at the Senior Bowl. They've seen him at other various times or whatnot. So it's kind of the last checklist, well, one of the last check the boxes to check on your checklist. And like I said, it's important because again, especially like last year, you got a few guys, at the quarterback position and everything like that of picking. You had a lot of teams that needed quarterbacks filled. So Dart, Shador, and all of those guys. So you get to get them outside of a kind of their comfort and see you really get to go at them, and it hasn't to the outside world. Maybe the numbers and everything like that mean more but I think to people behind the scenes and everything like that, I think that the meetings and everything like that are definitely as important, and they've given more access to kind of that process of stuff. But I mean, the whole experience is definitely, it's all a test. It's all, they're watching everything that you do and documenting every little thing. So it's from guys that I've talked to that have gone through the process and everything like that. It's annoying.
I bet. I mean, if they're watching you from your first game in the fall to any little thing you've said in any interview to when you sit down with them for the first time.
I mean, the medicals, I think they wake guys up. I think at like 4 or 5 in the morning. It's a 4-hour exam, and then kind of pretty much like after that is when you got meetings from then, and then from meetings, if it's your day to go on the field, you're on the field and everything like that. So teams can grab you at any time. It's a schedule, but it's not really a set schedule. So you got that, and then outside of that, that's when your agent's doing sponsor deals. So you got Jordan Brand, you got Nike, you got Adidas, Under Armour, all of those. You go to those guys' suites and everything like that. You're talking to get signed with the brand and everything like that. So it's a lot of things that get done at those times or whatnot. You got appearances, you got, the signings and stuff that you can get paid for and everything. It's just all a lot.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you throw that all in my face, I'd be like, whoa, I got to take a step back here. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, a lot going on right in front of me. But the quarterbacks, Mendoza's not throwing. Ty Simpson, I think, is the most interesting quarterback at the bench. Alabama, did he have the best playoff game against Indiana? No. He'd be first one to admit it as well. First game against Florida State of the year, they lose that one. But throughout that gap from week 2 until And last game of the year with that War Eagle in Auburn, he played pretty well from there on out. So you take, any game, you can take any game of a quarterback. Their quarterbacks play bad from time. Even Tom Brady's played bad games in his career. Peyton Manning played a horrible 1998 national title against Nebraska, and look, he turned out pretty good. So there are, you put a guy under a microscope, you look at the body of work. Ty Simpson is probably number 2 pretty easily in this quarterback class. However, he is throwing at the combine, and he is an interesting one because Alabama quarterbacks, there's a lot of them in the NFL now, have a lot of them successful. I mean, Jalen Hurts was a Super Bowl MVP.
He's an Oklahoma quarterback though. Like I don't view him as an Alabama quarterback. He's an OU guy.
Yeah. So you have him, but he's an interesting one because he throws well at the combine. I mean, people have him maybe as a late, and maybe a team trades up. It's quarterbacks. People are going to pick quarterbacks and trade up. Maybe a team trades up in the top 15 to grab him because that's how, quarterbacks fly off the board. And he's a guy where maybe a team like Pittsburgh needs a backup to sit behind Rodgers for a year. The Jets are in desperate need. We talked about last week. What are the Jets going to do? We talked about maybe I don't know. We talked about who the Dolphins.
I mean, what's the I don't even know if this quarterback. I don't think he's at the combine, but Tennessee's quarterback.
Aguilar, I don't think he is.
I don't think he, and like his situation is bad because I think if he was in that process and everything like that, like he would be definitely intriguing. Like I think he, he has a Josh Allen type build. He can run and everything like that. He has a rocket arm. So I mean, I know teams are definitely going to look at him a little bit more and everything like that. But for Ty and his situation, I mean, you got guys that aren't throwing it. That's just more for him. That's another opportunity where teams might have not been high on you, or teams might have not, loved you or thought of you negative and everything like that. And you kind of go to this, this testing period where, it's not under your control. And if he has a good day and everything like that, people may actually go back and look at the film and, you might start to move up. So it's a big time for him to where you can separate yourself or you can solidify yourself. He might have been, third or fourth or top 5, whatever it is. You might jump up 2 spots just because of you were able to perform a lot better than a lot other guys and everything like that. So it's definitely huge for him. If he, takes advantage of it and everything like that, you could see him go earlier than maybe what his projection was.
So Joey Aguilar is one of the many quarterbacks invited to the combine. Here are the list of guys. So you have Joey Aguilar, you have Drew Aller, who will obviously coming off an injury. That's a guy that was regarded up there. Luke Altmaier, Illinois, Carson Beck, Miami. We've talked about him before and what, he's maybe number 3 because he's a veteran guy. He's won. He's another guy. Jalen Daniels, Kansas, Joe Fagano of UConn, Taylon Green, Arkansas, Haynes King, Georgia Tech, Cade Klubnik, Clemson, obviously Mendoza, Brendan Morton, Texas Tech, Garrett Nussmeier, LSU, Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt, Sawyer Robinson, Baylor. I mentioned Ty Simpson of Alabama, Cole Payton, North Dakota State is the last one. He's an interesting one because a lot of people are high on him. He's a lefty quarterback. North Dakota State, he won a lot of games there. Little nugget, he is the Omaha West Side quarterback.
I know Cole. He's I think he's definitely going to turn some heads. I mean, he'll probably get, Jalen Hurts kind of comparison type style. But I mean, either outside of him, the Illinois quarterback,
Luke Altmaier. Luke Altmaier. Yeah.
He not to say he is Jared Goff, but I think he has, that potential. I mean, he's a smart quarterback. He's accurate. He can make all the throws and everything like that in the right type of situations and everything like that. I mean, let's just say the Rams draft him late, second, third round, after everybody you cut on the tape, right situation and everything like that for somebody after Stafford, that could be, man, that's a gem. How did people not see that and everything like that? So you have, those type of guys and everything. Like I said, I like the Tennessee guy. I don't think he's gotten a lot of talk. I mean, he's played a lot, especially what he's done at Tennessee for a year. He played in a lot of big games. I wouldn't say he really lost Tennessee games. You know what I mean? When they needed him to step up, he stepped up.
He was good at App State too. He was really good at App State before Tennessee. That's how he got.
And as far as the NFL is big, fast, and strong. You know, that's their model. They have, you know, prototypes for every position. When you break down every quarterback outside of just pure talent, Mendoza different, you know, outlier and everything like that. But when you break down, you know, body style and everything like that, arm and everything like that, I mean, I think he definitely jumps off the page and sets himself up different than a little bit of everybody else. And then you throw on the tape, and then you throw on, you know, okay, he played in the SEC, the games that he played and everything like that. So I wouldn't be surprised, you know. I think, like I said, I think a lot of teams are definitely going to be at his pro day. I don't know if he will be there throwing. I know he said he's on the list. I don't know if he's actually, because again, he was fighting his case, so I don't know if he's been training how some of these other quarterbacks are for the combine. But I know NFL teams will definitely have their eyes on at Tennessee's pro day, who might need a quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to go first round, but I mean, he has that potential. He has that his playing style and what he accomplished. I wouldn't. If it does happen late round or, you know, early second round, I can see it.
Yeah, and the guy we didn't mention was Garrett Nussmeier. Garrett Nussmeier was, you know, he was a Heisman hopeful to begin the year, and
I don't know. Like he had a lot of hype. Him and, you know, Clemson's quarterback, they had a lot of hype and everything like that. And just the film that can really hurt you. It really can. But again, somebody can fall in love with you. A coach can, you know, stand on the table again, the right situation. Right offensive coordinator, right system and everything like that, all that can go out the window. So I'm not saying it's terrible and it's bad, but I think those two guys, their climb, they definitely need to have a great throwing day to kind of get them back in the hunt.
And then before you go to break, Drew Aller's an interesting one too, because he was a good, you know, made it to the semifinals of the playoff and then gets hurt. And now he's kind of in, you know, like you mentioned, people look at the medical history, a guy coming off an injury, you know, red flag, you know,
they take that seriously.
Yeah.
They take that very seriously. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you might see him slide a little bit later than it is just because, you know, it's like, okay, we'll take the chance on him maybe being there later versus, you know, what it is now. But they will have their doctors, you know, go through everything, comb through a lot of stuff, and, you know, teams will be comfortable and take that risk.
Yeah, that's the combine. We'll know a lot from Thursday to Sunday. A lot will come out, a lot of stories around the NFL. But we're going to go to break. We'll be right back. Don't Punt Hour, Nick Wyman alongside Good Morning Pierson-El here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Looking to get a room downtown or near South Lincoln? Abe Lincoln would tell you no to the Ford Theater and yes to Lincoln Hotel. Save up to 40% off downtown Lincoln prices with a nice clean room and comfortable stay. Lincoln Hotel is locally owned and offers a day pass to the city's largest locally owned gym, Good Life Fitness. Long-term stays are available. You can learn more about pricing and book your Lincoln Hotel stay today at staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565. That's staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
I'm Alfred Nobel, the inventor of dynamite. So the Nebraska Lottery has asked me to talk about the Cash Blast promotion. Until March 24th, buy a 2x2 ticket and get a voucher. Enter online for a chance to win a $5,000 or $500 weekly prize. If you're winning vouchers from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled. So when can I explode the dynamite?
No dynamite in the studio, Dr. Nobel.
How about a cherry bomb?
No.
Sparkler?
Sorry.
2x2 top prize odds are 1 in 105,000.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey guys, Nick Sandert here. Join me live from Arlington, Texas, this Friday through Sunday as 93.7 The Ticket covers Husker Baseball's appearance in the Amagi Bank College Baseball Series. I'll have pregame and postgame videos on the Ticket's social media pages, as well as commentary throughout Friday's 3 p.m. game versus Louisville, Saturday's 7 p.m. game against Kansas State, and Sunday's 2:30 p.m. game against Florida State. Our coverage from Arlington is sponsored by Diode Technologies, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, and Chick-fil-A South Point Pavilions.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now at Koppel, we are offering big discounts on all of our inventory. 2026 GMC Terrains are leasing at $279 per month or buy for $27,690. 2026 Canyon is leasing for $269 or buy for $40,980. Also right now, all new Equinox EVs and all half-ton trucks are starting at $12,000 off MSRP. These are just a few examples of some of the aggressive pricing going on right now at Koppel. Please stop on in or check us out at koppelcars.com. All these with $2,500 down with a roof credit.
It's basketball season, and Salt Mine City is your pregame and postgame headquarters in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Get ready for the game with their big, fatty 7-ounce hamburger or try a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, your basketball headquarters, now open at 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
If you're a farmer, you need to hear this game-changing news about crop insurance. It's now possible to protect up to 95% of your farm's revenue, not at the county level, but down to your individual fields. At Trados, we help farms design protection that works with their marketing plan, not in isolation. The key isn't buying another product. It's understanding how coverage, grain marketing, and your operation work together. As hail and wind rates continue to increase, now's the time to ask better questions. Call us today or visit gotrados.com to start protecting 95%. That's GOTREDAS.com. Trados, ingrained in your success.
Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Diode Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diode Tech online at diodetech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
Welcome back. 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't Punt Hour, DeMornay Pierson-El. One more segment left before we have Late Night Lincoln with myself to cap off your Monday. Before we went to break, I looked on my phone and I was like, what other football topics have we not discussed about? There was a commit tonight in high school football. And yeah, I see your face. You're like, interesting. Like father, like son, Gunnar Rivers, the son of 8-time Pro Bowl quarterback Phillip Rivers, has committed to play college football at North Carolina State. Gunnar is a junior.
He's good.
Yeah, he's a junior at Fairhope's St. Michael's Catholic High School in Alabama, where his father is the head coach. Gunnar announced the decision Monday night on Instagram. 6'3", 200-pound quarterback. He is a 4-star prospect. Represents one of NC State's biggest recruiting wins in years.
Did Phillip Rivers went to NC State?
Yep. So it's like father, like son.
Okay.
Gunnar is the 12th quarterback commit in his class, ranked he'll play for the same program in which his father made a name for himself. So that is, I remember seeing, like, obviously the jokes that Phillip Rivers has a million kids.
He does.
And Gunner's this guy, this is his dad. His dad literally just played in an NFL game a couple months ago, couple of them, and almost beat the Seahawks in his first game back off the couch, literally coaching high school football. And now Gunner is going to be playing college. That's how you know you're getting old, DeMornay, when quarterbacks, exactly. I feel the same way. I read that, we have Willis McGahee.
Just taking a shot at me. My goodness.
I saw Phillip Rivers play too. I remember him and LT, LaDanis and Tomlinson and the
Antonio Gates.
Exactly. So like I'm in the same boat right now. Like I remember, I've grown up here. I remember seeing you play for Nebraska. Now here we are, and we got Gunner Rivers just committing. I hate that every year somebody makes a graphic. Like, here are all the kids, like Arch Manning.
I think Larry Fitzgerald's son is at Notre Dame. Jerome Bettis' son. Like these next couple of years. It's been going on for a minute, but definitely the stars that you watch growing up, their sons are about to be on the collegiate level for sure.
Phillip Rivers should come out of retirement in like 4 years, and we can get
I think he was supposed to be on next year's this upcoming year's Hall of Fame ballot, and now he has to restart.
So if Gunner Rivers gets the NFL, Phillip Rivers should come out of retirement and play him, and we can have a Gunner, son father versus son quarterback.
I do not want to see that. I do not want to see that.
When I saw that Phillip Rivers was signing with the Colts or whatever, I was here when that happened around noon before in December. I thought I was getting like trolled. I thought it was fake. I was like, what? I'm like, that is not true. I'm like, he's coaching high school. No, it was true. And he played like 4 games. It's a crazy world.
I'm sure he's not doing that again.
No, it does reset his Hall of Fame. So he's got to wait now. But now his son, NC State. NC State, they haven't had, Mike Glennon was an NC State quarterback. He's probably the last one to.
Mike Glennon is from Virginia, West Side, Chantilly, Virginia. He's played with him actually with the Raiders. No, I know Mike. I know Mike. He's a good guy.
He's a good back.
They haven't. I would say that'll probably been the last. Yeah,
it's got to be. I'm trying to think like Grayson McCall
between him and Russ.
Yeah, Russ, because he was there before he went to Wisconsin. Then you had Phillip Rivers. They did have, I remember a couple of years ago, Grayson McCall was the Coastal Carolina quarterback. He transferred to NC State. He ended up getting injured and having to retire. He had a lot of talk around him, but ended up having to medically retire from the sport. Unfortunate, but NC State, you haven't really had that many quarterbacks. Wasn't Jacoby Brissett an NC State guy too? I believe.
I feel like you are right on that one.
I'm looking it up.
I'm not.
Yeah, he was an NC State guy. Okay. Here's a special talent. I can name, like, you name me a quarterback. I can somehow throw out where he went to. Like somebody was asking the other day, like John Skelton, who was on the Cardinals way back when he was a Fordham guy, like stuff like that. I remember for some reason. From playing,
you got a knack for knowledge of the game. It makes the world go around.
It's a weird. It's a very weird talent, but I guess it's useful, especially in this field. So, Jacoby Brissett is probably the most since Phillip Rivers, I would say. Russ obviously was there, and then went to Wisconsin, then Mike Glennon. So, quarterbacks who have played on Sundays. So Gunner Rivers, not going to put him in the.
The ACC does, I think, definitely produce quarterbacks. And they are a quarterback league. They've had their run with quarterbacks coming out of the ACC. So it's not a bad fit. So good luck to him.
Yeah, and he still has another year of high school, so it'll be something to watch. Hopefully, he gets a game like on ESPN or something like that, so I can check it out because that'd be interesting. But yep, we're out of time. Nick Wyman here, DeMornay with Pierson-El, Don't Punt Hour. Thank you, DeMornay, for stopping in. Harrison will be with you tomorrow. We'll be right back. We have Late Night Lincoln with myself to cap off this Monday. We'll be right back here on 93.7 The Ticket.